Yeah, we're just on the outskirts of DC, and now I'm in heavy traffic, meaning light to light to light, getting through the city to get from point A to point B. But hey, I'm hitting some home runs. Done 2 jobs, and been successful, and I'm moving pretty good. But already it's close to 2 o'clock. Well, no, it's close to 1 o'clock. So I'm doing better than I thought. Actually, I don't think I have the third job finished today, but I'll have a better idea of what lies ahead for the third job. That's going to be more of a challenging job down there near Catholic University in Washington, D.C. All the college people that are gone. Wow. Sport Honda. This is Silver Spring, Maryland. It goes right into the D.C. area. Believe it or not, it kind of turns into a rough area down here. You wouldn't think that, but it's cleaned up over the years. But you go back 30 years ago, this was a rough neighborhood. I mean, this was not a very good area. So when I was in the public telephone business, there was a guy that got shot and killed at a payphone down here, and it just was an area you didn't want to be in. So here we are. Yeah, there's a lot of areas that I would not go to, and still is. I will not do business in. It's too. I mean, you'd have no idea. There are people stoned off their ass hanging out at these gas stations. I mean, it's bad. There's some neighborhoods in these areas. I won't do it. I mean, nope. I'm not. No way. I'm not gonna risk me. Anybody worse than me. It's like, no way. Nope. No thanks. That's not my company to deal with, the violence of your gas station. And today's not a bad day to work. It's overcast. It hasn't really rained. So that's a good thing. And it's not real hot, but that's all going to change. Like next week, man, be out doing jobs. Like, you're going to be sweating your ass off all day long. That's when the pool comes in, and you really want to have the pool. So here we go. It's incredible how some of these businesses have been here forever, man. Now, if it wasn't for Waze, I'd have no idea how to get over to Michigan Avenue from where I'm over in Georgia Avenue. So this guy here, just, I'll just park my car on the side of the road here. It ain't no big a deal. And you go back 50 plus years, this was a lot of the government, military, these were neighborhoods that you were doing okay. If you were back in the probably like 70 or 80 years ago, 50s, 60s, maybe the 70s. I don't think the 80s. Yeah, and I guarantee these were $500,000 homes, at least, because of location. But who would want to live here? Yikes. Oh, what's pretty cool is me having business all over the Metro DC area. It is neat because I do see a lot of sights. I see a lot of scenery. I get to see how other people live, and so it really is. It is neat. It is one thing about me in my life. I've had a lot of opportunity in my own backyard to see a lot of stuff, a lot of sights. And for the person that's going to work every day that's stuck behind a desk, you don't get this opportunity like I've had to see all the different areas. And you think to yourself, what it was like. You go back to the 1950s, the neighborhoods, the environment. Yep. And I did used to have a lot of business in DC. I used to have a good amount of business down, but you know what? I'm gonna tell you what, everybody. 2020, when George Floyd got killed, I mean, this country really did go through a time there. It was bad. I mean, I had never ever in a time in my life been in businesses where it's not me. The neighborhood isn't me. And for the first time ever, it was like, oh my gosh, the media has brainwashed the neighborhoods that I'm the bad guy. I mean, I'm not lying. I mean, I turned away business. And then I kind of slowly just started pulling out because the media machine had convinced some of these people that because of the way I looked, I was a nasty guy and I didn't like you. And I never ever felt that in my lifetime up until 2020, the summer of 2020, the summer of love, the George Floyd summer, where the anger and the divisions of our country was really some serious stuff. My channel went silent for a while. If you actually look at my channel, you'll see about May or June of 2020, I kind of disappeared for a while. I didn't feel good about my channel. I felt like, I'm being looked at. Look at this guy. Yeah, another freaking guy. Look at the guy. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, no thanks. Yeah. I'll pass on that one. Am I turning here? It's a danger here. Is, you start talking, yakking, and then boom, you missed your turn. Yep. So think if this was your life, maybe it is. I mean, if you watch my channel, like, yeah, this is where I live, Mr. Iceman. I live in this type of environment. I live in the neighborhoods. So we're in Northwest right now. Typically, Northwest is a decent area. Northeast, it's pockets. Southeast, pockets. The Northwest, usually it's pretty affluent area. It's usually a pretty good area for the most part. But there's pockets there as well. Alright, so I'm going to get up here and make a left, get a left-hand turn signal. I've never driven these roads. Got to really pay attention to where I'm going. Just that's complicated there, isn't it? Was I supposed to stop there? I mean, it looks like you are, but you're not. I'm going to be over here on Eastern Avenue. And back in the 80s, 90s, I lived in the D.C. I was down here delivering fuel, job sites, heat and oil, sales calls. I mean, I lived in these areas, but not like this area. But I mean, I lived in the D.C. metropolitan area of looking for business and working for an oil company. A lot of these big commercial properties had underground oil storage for heating oil. So look at this here. So you look at some of these buildings, like, it's got to be the 50s. It's kind of neat to go in these older neighborhoods and you think about, what was going on back then and blah, 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 blah. So now I'm going to go up here on Eastern Avenue. That's kind of a well-known road. Brian's right behind me today. He's hanging out right behind me. We got an old church. When was that church built? I mean, I don't know. No idea. So yeah, so this is more, of the well-off to-do neighborhood. Let the guy go so we don't cross into each other. Yep. Yeah, and I have had business in parts of DC that are pretty rough. I mean, I have had, I mean, there's no doubt. I'm not lying, I have just about turned away some business over the years just because of the riffraff. I mean, I wouldn't even sleep at night thinking about, if you think I'm making this up, I mean, back in 2000 years, I really kind of got my business going more so, even the 90s, but I wouldn't even sleep at night thinking about the job I'm going to do. And I was by myself a lot of times. And I knew the riffraff that hung around these gas stations. And I would see them across the parking lot. And I mean, if you think I'm making this stuff up, I mean, even a point, I would come close to calling the business owner going, you know what, I'm just not going to, I don't want your site. I don't want it. I don't feel safe at your gas station. So if you think I'm embellishing on that, I'm not. Alright, here we go down the hill. Up the hills like San Francisco, but nothing close to that. Oof, off. You know, you hear about mass evacuation. Can you even imagine if you're in a city that, the bombs are coming, you got to get out? Yeah, oh my gosh. Can you imagine? It'd be chaos, craziness like you can't believe. So I'm just trying to kind of get my bearings of where I am. Oh, I know where I am now, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we have a service station. Yeah, we have 3 stations right in this area right here. Isn't that funny? And how that brought us over here? Okay, so now I know where I am. Brian will be like, oh, I know where we are now. Julie and Brian did that station back there, that Shell station. They actually did a job by themselves. They used to do that. Well, they used to be a team, even to the point that some days I wouldn't go out and do things because I knew that Julia could kind of do some things, and I could really advise her through a FaceTime. And yeah, I mean, her and Brian were a team. They really were. She was out doing a lot of manual labor work, and that was pretty cool because it kind of gave me a break. And she helped out a lot. So then for them to break up, and then they didn't work together anymore, and then for everything else to change, yeah, guess who's back on duty? I am. And, to think this through, Julia was on her own many days. I usually didn't put her down. I did. She did get in some of these areas, but man, I was nerve-wracking for me that she would be down here in some of these parts of D.C. But a lot of times I wouldn't do it. I'd be like, nah, I'll just have to go down there and take care of it. But she'd tell you that. She'd be the first to raise her hand and go, yeah. I definitely was in areas that were definitely not the cleanest of the areas. Yeah, she's now like, thank God I don't do that anymore. I was telling her about what Brian have to do today. She's like, oh, I'm so happy I don't do that anymore. I'm like, yeah, life is good. Life is good, I'm still crawling around my hands and knees. I'm 62 years old. And, and you're thank God. Thank God you have to do what I've done in my life. I don't think that's going to be her story. It won't. Yeah, life is good, everybody. Which I'm glad. Once again, not here to hope any bad on my daughter, but wow. But I'm the guy still a grunt. So you look here at this big ass parking lot. What did that used to be? What was that? It's all grown up. So what was that all about? You can kind of see in the neighborhoods, like your neighborhood, the one neighborhood where the person really just goes out of the way to take good care of their home and makes it pretty, and their little botanical garden and blah blah blah. And then the other guy or the gal, like, who cares? Yeah, I don't think you have 7 dogs down this area. You're probably not allowed to. I'm sure that the city has a cap of 2 or 3 dogs or something like that. You can imagine if I lived down here, you'd just be on constant dog duty pickup. Not that the dogs, you're already sacrificing the dogs, not have much where to run, but at the same time, it would be about how much crap you're picking up. Yep. How much do you think it costs to rent one of these apartments down here? What would be your guess? I guarantee it's $2,000. I'd be blown away. I'd be blown away if these apartments aren't $2,000 or more. Just bring you along for the work day, everybody. I do a lot of work. I drive a lot of places. So I'm making content today just so you feel like you're with me today. Sitting in the seat like my dad used to do, because that's what my dad used to do. My dad used to ride around with me. He enjoyed that. We'd have our conversations. And my dad truly did enjoy the, being with me and participating in my daily routine. And a lot of times he helped me out a lot. My dad did do that. My dad dug a lot of ditches, concrete, electrical work with me. I'll never forget, we were at one job, and this is probably back in 2000, like, I don't know, 2002. We were at a job, and all these Hispanic guys are standing around watching my dad with a pick and shovel digging out an area to pour concrete, and I'm doing something else, and they're all looking at each other like, what? The father's son is over there doing this and that, and the father's there killing himself, picking away. My dad got a kick out of that. They came over and like, what do you do? They were talking to my dad's like, I know, it's brutal working for my son. It's brutal. All right, getting closer. So as I talk to you, the time does move quicker. That is one thing about social media for me. And talking and driving without running somebody over. This is kind of a tricky way in how ways, as you have to go across a main road here. It's a little cheat thing here to get across without getting run over, and it's not that easy. Without creating, you get traffic, 4-lane roads that you have, but for the most part, it's not it works. All right, here we go. So then I come down here, I make an immediate left. It's all the cut-throughs. And this isn't a bad area. This is now close to Catholic University. So it's more of a, it's not, I would say upper class, but it's okay. But then we kind of go into where the station is, where it's a hit or miss. It's a hit or miss of the riffraff that hangs out. And I have ridden my motorcycles down here over the years. I'll never forget, I took Joe used to work for me, he got burned. I took him here to this hospital, and I waited outside for him for a few hours because he had to have a skin graft. Yeah, Joe did the classic thing. He threw an empty gas can onto a fire, and it literally blew up, and it caught him. It set him on fire. And he's rolling around the ground. I mean, yeah, he got burned really bad in all reality. He's very lucky. Anybody out there that has a gas can, you never throw it in a fire. It's a bomb, man. It's a bomb. Even if there's no gas in it, there's remnants of gas. The vapors. So Joe, he called me. He's like, you'll never believe what I just did. I'm like, what happened now? It was always a story every day with Joe. Always a story. So I brought him down here years ago for him to get his skin grafted, or whatever you call it. Yeah, he was in a lot of pain, man. Yeah, Joe's father, I said this on my show before, Joe's father called him the boo-boo boy. That's what his dad called him. He was a very little boy. He's always hurting himself or breaking something. And I'm gonna eat my words, but for the most part, we haven't gotten caught up in a major construction, yet. But I'll eat my words here for long. What happens is they'll be doing construction somewhere. I can promise you that. All right, so now we get up the road here. So this is a quaint little town. So now Catholic University, if you took a right there, went about a mile up the road, you would see Catholic University up there. Then it's really nice. It's a very nice area up there. There's Catholic University. It's more modern. But down here, it's kind of a hit or miss. Like I say, you have a lot of riffraff. A lot of the alcoholics, the drug abusers, they just kind of hang out, looking to bum money off of you. And I know somebody like, no way. Yeah, I'm telling you. I've lived in the streets. I know it too well. Getting close. And now I'm getting into heavier traffic. And there we are. I've been here quite a while. Joe and I did this job years ago. And we've got electrical problems. We've lost electric here. So this place is nasty. Everybody urinates and pisses and shits. I ain't lying. All the bums, they come back here and they piss and they shit. Back here, it's disgusting. It's so nasty.